Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. In a week where Spider-Man filming dominated the Glasgow newspapers, it was in fact Oliver Ant-Man who took all of the headlines. I am your host for this evening, Ross McLean, and joining me is two gentlemen for this evening. First of all, we have got Scott Gemmell. Scotia, how are we, mate?
Yeah, evening, Ross. As I was saying just off there while we tried to get through the technicalities of starting this live without Mr. Carney. Yeah, very good. What a difference that result during the week can make your mood when it comes to all things Rangers.
Spot on, mate, spot on. And last but not least, we've got Ali Pearson. Ali, we're slightly late this evening, but we're here nonetheless.
Yeah, we are. I got logged out of my emails for some reason. I have to re-log in, but then it's kicked me out of all the buttons to work in StreamYard. So basically, I could work behind the scenes and work the comments and do the intros and outros, but for tonight, I have absolutely access to nothing. So it is down to you, Ross. I'm sure you're more technically gifted than me and Mr. Gemmell in terms of things like this, so I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh, I hope so, mate. I hope so. We'll see what happens, folks. You're stuck with just us three this evening. So stay tuned for some laughs, some cries, and some dodgy Wi-Fi's. Unfortunately, we'll be back soon with Mr. Carney. But for now, it is us three. So before we get in, usual housekeeping: like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. Very much this season going for 8,000 subs. Let's try and get there before the end of the season. Hello to everybody in the chat as always. It's brilliant to see you all. And some plenty talking points for this evening. So we'll get straight into it. First off, there's no other place to start. Rangers 3, Victoria Plzen 0. Rangers very much in the driving seat to go through to the next round of the Champions League qualifiers. I think we're just going to take a quick debrief of the game, lads. I know obviously yourself, Ali, and Scott gave a wee bit of a review of the game midweek, but we'll kind of go through the game tonight, dissect it a wee bit. Because there's a lot to chat about. So I guess kind of the first place to starting 11, very refreshing. Four pretty big changes going into this game. You obviously had Jeffy coming in, Leo Cameron making his first proper, you'd say, I guess, appearance for Rangers. Soil Dessers and Ant-Man, the new kid in the block, made the start. So I guess I'll come to you first, Scotia. Would you say that it was Russell Martin kind of playing his cards close to his chest? Was it freshness that he was looking for, or was this more of a more statement kind of move by him? Obviously, a lot of comments made about the mentality of the team, the kind of things needed to change. Is this just a coincidence that it's coming now for freshness, or is this Russell Martin kind of letting us know the players he was referring to?
No, I think it's probably more on the making a kind of statement side of things. Not fully, because I think he's probably, well, I'm hoping he's kind of listened and seen with his own eyes what was happening at the back there, that it wasn't working with persevering with playing Tav on the right and forcing Aarons to play out on the left-hand side. It looks like he's seen sense there to bring Aarons over and play on his better side. I think in the middle of the park, potentially it is, and it's maybe something we'll get onto as we go through the pod, but taking Raskin out, I think he was one of the players that he was probably referring to after the I was about to say defeat to Motherwell. It felt like a defeat to Motherwell, but the draw last weekend there, I think from looking back at that game, you could see Raskin was getting dragged into the position that Raskin naturally plays. He probably wasn't doing what Martin wanted Raskin to do, and this one was maybe, I think my feelings for this is that he was referring to Raskin in this kind of instance and kind of taking him out of the team and saying, no, like, this is how I wanted to go. The changes up top were changes I fully expected anyway. I didn't see Danilo having much left in him, and I'm just so pleased that Ant-Man managed to sign on Monday there, so that he could come in, because he did intimate that if the signing was done pretty early in the week, then he would be thrown straight in if he was going to be fit enough to do so, which is very good, because it means we didn't need to kind of see another half with Kieran Dowell starting, or is up on the right hand side of the pitch.
Well, there's still plenty of time for that. It's a long, long season to go. Kieran Dowell is here, and I still think he's here to stay, to be honest. But we'll leave that for another night. Ali, the start 11 for you. We happy to see those 4 changes. The one for me, I was quite surprised to see Lyle Cameron come in, to be fair, especially for Nico Raskin, the guy who, player of the season last season. He's really been, I guess, branded as the Rangers guy at the moment. He just seems to make the team tick. Big calls from Russell Martin.
It's a big call, but that's why he's paid big bucks to make these calls. We've been, the last couple of seasons, we've been asking Rangers managers to drop certain players. Certain players have, we've seen where we've been the last couple of years. We've not done very well in the league. But yeah, it was leaked as well, obviously. So we all knew the lineup, or we thought we knew the lineup. I know I said to Scotia in the pub, this is supposedly the lineup, and then it came out and it was the lineup. Jim Sloan, member for 36 months. Well done, Jim, for sticking that long. God. But no, you've got to give Russell Martin credit. He had a go at the players after the Motherwell game, and rightfully so. I thought they were pathetic in the second half, to be honest. He's probably looked at it the same as us and went, the balance of the team was all wrong. The front line doesn't help when you're playing with Danilo, and you'll know my thoughts on Danilo. He simply is not good enough. You've got Dibble on the right-hand side who offers next to nothing. It's not Kieran Dibble's fault he's been picked, but he offers nothing. And you could see the difference straight away in terms of the balance of the team. You're playing Aaron's at right back and not left back. Jeffy, again, I'm not a fan of Jeffy, but he's a left back, a natural left back, and the balance of the back line straight away, you could see it. And then obviously the 2 wingers. So, yeah, it was a big call for Russell Martin to do it, but he had to do it. He had to get the Rangers fans back on side, if you want to say, because that Motherwell result, as I said, a lot of people didn't want him in the door. And there was probably some people at that point after the Motherwell game going, I told you so, etc. But I thought he did very well. And it was good to see that he had a bit of some balls, if you want to say, to make the calls. Because he's come out and said he's not dropped them because it's a long season. He needs to rotate players, but it's a bit of a statement to players that if you don't pull your socks up, then we'll put somebody else in there that will. So yeah, it was a good call. And young Lyle Cameron that you mentioned there, I thought he was very good. He had a lot of energy. Scotia kept talking about Lyle Cameron in terms of how good he was, but I know I'm sort of waffling here. But you look at the midfield 3 in terms of Diamande, Raskin, Rothwell, they're a wee bit similar, if you want to say. And I think Raskin is out of sorts in terms of where he plays. Raskin either plays where Rothwell plays. So for me, it's one of them that play that position. And I think you'll see when Asgard is fit, he'll play where potentially Lyle Cameron plays. But yeah, it was a big call by Russell Martin, but good call.
Definitely a good call. Definitely, we've been crying out for this for ages. I think they kind of go back and you look at probably Gerrard was the last guy who really stamped that that wee bit of authority. So that's what we're after. Russell Martin, he's saying all the right things, and he's making the right calls. So it was very, very good to see. I was going into the game on Tuesday, very, very excited. That is for sure. So kind of starting off with the game, Rangers fairly, I guess, dominant in the opening exchanges. I thought Jeffy was pretty decent. For me, I know he does get a fair bit of critics, but you could see that energy from him. Obviously, he's a young lad, pretty sure he's 21. He's bombing up and down. And as you said, mate, having a left foot on that left side, it makes sense. It does make sense. You can tell that Aarons is very confident in the ball. It looked a lot more encouraging from Rangers for me. And it only took us 15 minutes to open the scoring. Gisama linking up perfectly with Dessers. Dessers just holds the ball up. It's a perfect pass into him, and Gisama with the great finish. Scotia, that's 4 goals from in 3 Champions League qualifying games, and I'll point it out there and saying he only started 1 of them, so that's 4 goals from already. Remarkable stuff. Genuinely, this boy looks like he could be him, if you get what I mean. He's well and truly becoming a fan's favourite.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the scoring on the 15-minute mark there was good. it settles. I didn't have massive amounts of nerves about the game on Tuesday night there, and I think, like you could say with that opening exchange that Plzen didn't really do anything to change that opinion for me. Started pretty well. But with Gassama, I know we've kind of mentioned it before that we need wingers and such like, but what we really needed was wingers that can score goals, because we've not had that in a long, long time, and Gassama looks so far like he's coming up with the right cards for that. Pretty impressed with him so far. Liking how he can go in and drive the ball. Got a good shot on him as well, good range of finishing from him. Perfect start that he's had so far in his Rangers career.
Definitely spot on, Ali. It's as Scotia said, we've been crying out for ages. All our goals, you look at last season, Cyril Dess, as much as we slag him off, that's where the majority of our goals are coming from. Now we're seeing, Julie, them spread out among the team. Even the likes of, obviously in pre-season, Raskin was on the score sheet, and you've had players likewise. This guy on our left wing is, I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, right? But he looks like the next best thing.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you, Ross, because you've seen a lot of dross in your lifetime, to be honest. You've not graced decent wingers like Neil McCann, Brian Laudrup. There's even more than that as well that me and Scotia have been privileged to see growing up. So your bar is probably quite low in terms of players he's going up against, in terms of wingers we've had. And even under Walter, when he came back for the second time, we never really had any wingers at all, to be fair. But yeah, Gassama, he excites me. He's a guy that gets you off your seat. He's not just a guy with pace. He's good with the ball at his feet. He's clever. His pass to Dessers was a good one. His pass to Ant-Man for the penalty was a very good one as well. He's composed. And he can score 4 goals, all in Europe as well, big games. He just looks like a guy that when he's through goals going to score. He does all the time. And teams will be worried about him. And I know you'll come on to the guy on the right-hand side as well too, but he's lit this team up, Gassama, and we've been crying out for it. We've had Ryan Kent was probably the last one on that flank, really, that was a good winger for us. But the problem with Ryan Kent is basically what Scotia said is he didn't add numbers to his game in terms of goals. Gassama's in the door now and scored 4 goals already. And you'd expect this boy to hit 15 plus this season easily. So yeah, I think he's a special talent, Gassama, and I think we should enjoy him while he's here. Because the Sheffield Wednesday fans were telling us how good this boy was in terms of a steal we got him for. But the way he's going, the way he's performing in Europe as well, there'll be eyes on him. But that's what you want, bringing these players in at that age. You want to develop them, punt them further down the line. I'd love to have him for a longer period. But yeah, you could tell straight away when you seen Gassama there was something about him. But he's getting better and better. But I think it'll even help him now, knowing that we've got a guy on the right-hand side. I think you looked at Motherwell, they knew Gassama was a danger man, and they kind of put 2 players on him. The problem now for teams is we've got a guy on the right-hand side that he'll come on to, so it frees him up a wee bit. So, yes, I'm very much excited to see more of Gassama. And he's got a good song as well. I won't sing it.
Okay.
Hey, Mark knows the one I'm on about. Hey, Mark knows the one I'm on about, Bill.
Well, I'm sure
between me and him.
He'll be tuning in, and I hope he's singing it proud as we speak. Gassama, he's got everything for me. He's got that bit of pace, got that bit of flair. He can finish a ball composed. The only thing he needs to do is work in the old knee slides. That's it. If he can do that, he's a perfect player. He's absolutely a perfect player. Scotia, kind of going on to the rest of the first half. Sorry, I kind of single out a few players off. We spoke about Lyle Cameron, get a lot of praise in the comments as well, and rightly so. One guy for me, need to have a wee chat about Max Aarons. It was I think a pretty good performance for me. I know obviously he went off with a bit of a knock. Thankfully Russell Martin said he's okay today, but just he plays with that wee bit of confidence about him. You can tell that he's been about the block. What did you make of his appearance on Tuesday night there? Are you impressed with him, and does it leave a headache for our James Henry Tavernier?
Oh, I maybe slightly disagree with you. Not massively, but slightly disagree with you. When he played on that side of the pitch, you could see it was a lot more comfortable. Looked a lot more composed on the ball. Did have a bit more confidence, but I think some of his confidence could potentially have been shaken by how he'd started with Rangers playing out on the left-hand side, and also fans making up their kind of opinions about him. I seen someone in the comments earlier on had mentioned something about him that not being massively impressed by him. I thought he had a decent performance there, and he was starting to link up pretty well with Ant-Man at times, but I do want to give him a wee bit more time to see how that develops. At the minute, I'm not fully sold in being the massively good player that we were expecting him to be right away. Probably been far too harsh on him, but then at the same time, I'm not sort of condoning that we persevere with Tavernier, because I think this is kind of Tavernier's swan song of the season with us, really. There's stuff to be worked on there, I think, and I think he'll develop as the season goes on. But I think for me, he's still got a wee bit to do.
Aye, no, spot on, mate, spot on. Ali, for you, Aaron's, was it a pass mark from yourself?
Yeah, I thought he got pass marks. I agree with me and Scotia talked about him, because Scotia came down the second half and we were talking about him. I think a lot of fans judged him wrongly on the left-hand side, because that's not his position. You could see he was a fish out of water on that side. On the right-hand side, I said to Scotia on Tuesday night, I want to see him get a run there so I can fully judge him. I think times physically, he's bullied a bit too easily for me at times. But that'll come, I think. He's played down in England and stuff. So, yeah, I'll judge him when he's had a right good run in this Rangers team, maybe 10 games or so, and you'll get to see him properly at that right-back position. But yeah, I think he's good with the ball at his feet. Obviously, he played that ball for Ant-Man for the third goal, which was a good ball from that. But yeah, the only thing I would say is physicality of him. He gets bullied a wee bit. He get bullied in the left-hand side previously, but you'll give him pass marks because that's not his position. But yeah, that's me being very harsh, if you want to say, in terms of because I thought on Tuesday night, I thought he did fine at right back. I thought he was decent, but that's the only slight criticism I would say is I think he's slightly lightweight.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. I think, well, hopefully we're not exposed to that too much. Obviously, we know that in the league you're going to come up against absolute hammer throwers. Will he survive there? We'll see what happens. Obviously, got a game at the weekend, which will maybe tell us a wee bit more about that. But for now, I think he's doing not bad at all. Not bad at all. Again, it's probably one of these, as you say with Gisama, mate. Enjoy him while he's here for the good moments, because obviously he's here that one season alone. If we can get the best out of him, then brilliant. I do agree. Left back's not his position. There was so many times where if he had a belt of a Travella on him, then brilliant. But he needs to use that left foot if he's out on the left side, and you could tell he just wasn't comfortable. So definitely the right back is a position for him. And for Tav, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens indeed. Kind of going on to come up to the half time. We were on the score sheet again. Ant-Man wins the ball in the defensive third of the park. Outstanding from absolute outstanding. Switches on, pass it out to Gisama. Gisama just threads it through to the onrushing Ant-Man, who makes an absolute bust for it. A fake shots the defender in the box, gets brought down, and it is my 3 favourite words. If I ever get a tattoo, you know exactly what I'm getting. Penalty to Rangers. And we are in a very strange situation because Tav's not on the pitch, so you're looking around and you're like, who's going to take it? Cyril Dessers, ball in his hand, slots it away. Scotia, it's unbelievable from Ant-Man, and it's on the night, a goal and assist from Dessers. Absolutely no complaints from me.
Yeah, this was a really, really good worked move to get the penalty. And it was, yes, Oliver Ant-Man. I was convinced it was Lyle Cameron that done it, and I don't know how I can get the two confused. One's 6'1", and I don't know. Lyle Cameron is not 6'1". Let's just put it that way. But the guys out in the concourse corrected me when we went out to discuss it at half time. Yeah, really good link-up play by both of them. Quite like the Ant-Man was over, sort of, on that side of the pitch as well. Because did it come from them being up the pitch with a set-piece? I've not watched the game back, so don't know if they'd had a set-piece or something up that end, our end of the pitch, and it broke up to us. Was the penalty itself a wee bit too soft? I don't know. Again, I've not watched it back. I've heard some comments with people saying that, but take what you're given. And I thought Desser's done really well to smash the ball away home.
Yeah, definitely. Ali, it's a guy who he drives us around the absolute bend. Let's be honest, he does, but I love him for it. I absolutely love him for it. Cyril Dessers is, he scores goals for us. He does score goals, as Coach said, brilliant from Ant-Man. But Cyril Dessers, is it lifetime contract worthy for you yet? Are you on that kind of boat, or where do you feel with Cyril Dessers just now?
He starts for Rangers every week, unless we bring a striker, unless somebody moves off the books and we bring a number 9 in. At the moment, we have 3 strikers, so we're not going to bring somebody in until one of them goes. So for me, Inigaman seems as if he's weeks away. We don't quite know as his head. Does he want to be here? But Dessers showed Tuesday night, and I know I keep bashing Danilo on this podcast, but Dessers showed Danilo how to play it, how to be a number 9 on Tuesday night. I thought he held the ball up well. He was more of a focal point for us. He got his assist, obviously, with Gassama for the first goal. He took his penalty brilliantly. I thought he was good in the night, Dessers, and I think he might get better. See with these 2 guys either side of him, providing him with chances, I just think he could get better. So for me, I thought he was good, Dessers, and it was good to see him there because Danilo you've seen Danilo for 3 games this season, and his hold-up play is dreadful at times. His link-up play is woeful. I know I'm not saying much positive things about Danilo at all, but I just thought Dessers on Tuesday night showed us that's what a proper striker is. And he was holding the ball for as well, getting us up the park, turning their defence as well. Yeah, I just think he's more of a nuisance up there than a Danilo. I've always said this, Danilo for me doesn't strike fear. If you're a centre-half, I don't think Danilo strikes fear into you. I know he moves about and moves players, but he doesn't do enough for me. So yeah, I thought Big Dessers played well on Tuesday night. Guy's not played much football for us at all this season, but he starts on Saturday. There you go.
He does start on Saturday, and you're spot on to say that. He is likewise also kind of getting back to speed as well. Obviously, him and Inigaman were later coming back into the team, so it's very encouraging to see. Folks, please get in the comments. How many goals do you see Dessers getting this season? If he is our number 9, how many goals do you see him racking up this season? I'm very, very interested to know. I'm sure the lads are as well. So you go into half-time 2-0, and you're in a very, very good place, a much better place from where against Motherwell. But we kind of kicked on as we left off, if you will. Gassama, again, honestly, we've said this many times this season, but he's back in the score sheet. Aarons plays an unreal pass through to a new man, Ant-Man, the superhero. And Ant-Man with the first time crossed, Gassama at the back post, winger to winger. It's absolute dreamland stuff. You're 3-0 up, 51 minutes on the clock. Scotia, a quick chat about Ant-Man. Have we found a right winger now? It seems like it. I think he said in his press conference today that he can play on both sides. Like in the Finland national team, he's played majoritively on the left wing, and then for club, he's been on the right. It seems like we've finally cracked the Candace code by the looks of it.
Oh, one game in that he's played and I don't want to get too carried away, but yeah, I'm kind of like you. I was important. Something that Ali had mentioned to me at the game on Tuesday night as well is that he was really impressed. He's not seen a first team debut like that in a long time from a player in terms of how he impressed them, and I would tend to agree with that. Yeah, I hope you're right with that. I'm always kind of glass half full kind of guy, or glass half empty should be the case. In terms of it's only one game. It's only one game, so we'll need to see how it goes. But it's not the worst way to get off. It's Rangers' career off to a start with that performance.
Spot on, Ali. This for me, it's a beautiful, beautiful goal. As we say, Aarons with the pass, the first time cross. it's everything you're looking for. For me, it's, I wouldn't say Rangers score predictable goals, but they rarely nowadays score goals that really gets you off your seat. This, for me, was one of 3 brilliant finishes on the evening.
Oh, it was the best one for me of the night. Just to play it. Man, was he not nicknamed the assist king or something? Go ahead Eagles and the Eredivisie or whatever it was. He's just talking about him. I did say to Scotia that's probably one of the most impressive debuts I've seen for a Rangers player in a long time. In terms of a guy that's only been in the door the matter of hours, I think he said today that he didn't even have a training session. I don't think he really met his teammates, to be honest. And to put in a performance like that, and he was saying something about Russell Martin, was showing him clips at half time of what they want him to do, and he went out and did it for them. I thought he was outstanding, Ant-Man, and it's refreshing to see a winger on the left and a winger on the right. We've been calling out for it for God knows how many years, and it's no rocket science. It's having 2 quick wingers either side. I mean, Celtic have been doing it for years. We've always had one and then somebody makeshift on the other side somewhere. But yeah, he looked good. He looked. He didn't look like he'll get bullied either. He looked like a guy that would suit Scottish football. Clever. He's quick. Obviously, his assist as well. But yeah, he was very impressive. I didn't know much about him when we signed him, to be honest. I just seen his stats and thought the stats looked good, to be honest. But again, like I talk about Gassama, when I seen Gassama for the first time, I thought, oh, he's a player. And it was the same Ant-Man. As soon as you see him, like, no, he's got something about him. It's just, Christ, to have 2 wingers, it's, honest to God, it's brilliant, honestly, because we've been crying out for so long. And the right-hand side, I mean, we joke about it. I don't know how long we've joked about it. And you talked about Candace there, and we probably have joked about it since Candace. And Candace was all right. I mean, he was an okay winger. He tried his heart out, to be honest, but he was limited at times, Candace, and a poor Rangers team as well. But I like the look of this boy. But going by Russell Martin, I think he wants to bring somebody else in up that top line as well, which I like. I like the sound of it. Looks like he wants to have 2 players for each position, similar to that Gerrard side that when you pulled a player out and put one in, you didn't notice a difference. Now I think he's going for that. But to have 2 wingers, it's yes. I'm just waiting because you know it's Rangers, and you're just waiting for something. One of the hammer throwers for Dundee you can throw him or something. But he was a joy to watch on Tuesday night.
Well, there's under 24 hours to go, so there's not long to wait until the inevitable injury, because you know what's going to happen. James Bytime with the comment, Mikey Moore as well. The right wing is looking very, very interesting just now, that's for sure. We'll get into what Ross Martin was saying about Moore later on, but it's a very good point. Mikey Moore is another very exciting prospect for me. So I guess kind of in the second half, there's one guy who he was outstanding the first half as well, but the second half we need to speak about him, and it's Giga at the back. Scotia, this guy's looking like the Premier League player that I was hoping we were going to get. Obviously, I know he didn't play a lot for Wolves, but in terms of that standard, obviously, if we get through to the Champions League, is 10 million quid too much of an ask? I know that the boys, he's only 22, and again, was very, very early, but do we get what we pay for? For me, it's still 10 million is very, very high. I can't see Rangers forking out 10 million, never mind for a centre half, but there's been some very, very good performances from Giga, and for me, Tuesday was right up there with potentially his best.
Yeah, Giga's looked very good when he's come in, very solid. I thought on Tuesday night there that he was starting the partnership with Suter, who he's playing with at the moment, and obviously if nothing else happens in terms of transfers coming in that position, that's probably the pairing that we're going to see for the majority of the season, I would imagine. It looked like they were getting a good partnership there, but he's looking really good to me so far. I'm really pleased with him. I know when we spoke about him when he was announced his signing, I had a wee look at him, and he's obviously played with one of the teams. Where did he come from? Not Partizan Belgrade.
Red Star Belgrade.
Red Star Belgrade, I think, yeah, he played with Red Star in the Champions League the season before, had a wee bit of experience there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see him for the rest of the season. How he performs for the rest of the season probably comes into play with one of the questions that you'll be asking later on in terms of what European competition we're playing in and where I would put things with that. But I was very pleased with Giga, and like you say, 10 million is an awful lot of money for us. And I think if he has the season that he could potentially have with us, hopefully that price will go up and up. Or is that price already agreed?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much is agreed. I'm more just making it out of the. I think if I'd imagine if they asked for 10 million, then I wouldn't say they'd say it anymore for us. If you know what I mean. So I reckon 10 million is probably what he's probably valued at just now, mate.
Aye, but that, I mean, even 10 million, that's some huge amounts of money for us to sign in a centre back. If you're spending 10 million on a centre back, then you're expecting to spend treble that on a striker. I don't think we're quite there just yet.
Not yet. You never know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. I mean, the old Americans, we can ask them nicely and see if they can splash some money our way. But Ali, Giga, for you, we've been crying out for a centre half. I know that John Sutter has his moments that kind of makes me shiver a wee bit. But Giga, for me, it looks he's a ball playing centre half. He's very, very good with the ball at his feet. For me, those times it was actually it's a Panathinaikos game at Ibrox where it looked like he had that bit of confidence that you look for in a centre half, especially under Russell Martin. If you're looking for players to be good on the ball from goalkeeper to your striker, Giga for me fits right in there. So 10 million quid, it's a lot of cash. I know it's still very, very early, but would he be a permanent signing for you if things keep going the way they are?
I don't think he is. I don't think Wolves have got any option to buy in the contract. I think he's a straight loan and he goes straight back to Wolves. I think they're really getting him used to British football. I think they're using Rangers as a club to get him used to British football, playing in Europe as well, and I think they'll take him back to Wolves. I don't think we'll see him next season at all. But then that's why the loan market is a good market to go into, where you can get players like this that you probably can't afford. But he's getting better and better, Giga. He had a wee bomb scare moment the first game at Panathinaikos at Ibrox where he dilly-dallied in a ball, but where I thought, oh God. But after that, no, he's been really good with the ball at his feet. Last-ditch defending as well, very good too, composed. He looks a level above what we've had in years, to be honest. And even Suter on Tuesday night as well, and you know my thoughts on Suter. I thought Suter was very good on Tuesday night as well. Whether that's because it's the captain's armband, I don't know, but I thought Suter was good too on Tuesday night. But Giga's the first name in the team sheet in the back line, if you want to say. And I know we're linked with potentially bringing in a left-sided centre half, which I would like to still have in there. But Big Giga, he's decent. He's decent, but yeah, I don't think he'll buy Ibrox next season. I think he'll be back to Wolves. I think he'll be playing in that Premier League next season.
Yeah, it would not surprise me by the way he's going. Definitely, he's one, as we say, enjoy him while it lasts, folks. Enjoy him while it lasts. It'd be good to see him getting in the score sheet sometime soon, so you can get that ovation from Rangers fans. But very, very good bit of business from Rangers by the looks of it in the loan market, which is what we're looking for. Going on to the rest of the game, a few subs came on. Obviously, you had Raskin, Tav coming on. I just thought I'd quickly mention Raskin, gents. I don't know about yous. I reckon that obviously I know it's one game. I know he's been benched, but I don't see Nico Raskin wanting to sit on a bench for Rangers. Scotia, could this be a potential banana skin if we don't play Raskin? I know that there's I guess discipline, etc. But I don't see Raskin staying if he's not playing. I reckon he'll come in at the weekend. We'll obviously get into our teams, but I reckon he comes back in. But you could see his quality once he came on. Do you reckon it's just a one-time thing with Raskin? Do you think he could go if he does keep getting dropped? Where do you kind of sit with the Raskin situation just now?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. That thought did cross my mind when he wasn't starting. It was like, this could be interesting while we wait for the transfer window to slam shut in terms of any offers come in from him. Then has Raskin got a decision to make? That is he going to get the time he wants? Is he going to get to be played where he wants? Because where he naturally plays, where I think he's best playing, where I probably think he should be playing as well, is where Rothwell's playing at the minute. I said this to Ali on Tuesday. I would actually have Raskin sitting the deeper in the midfield there and have Rothwell further up. Rothwell, by all accounts, has got a good eye for goal, good shot on him. He's done that previously. Rothwell should be playing where Raskin is, in my opinion. Raskin should be playing further deeper. And someone in it as well made the comment there earlier on. Rothwell's 30-year-old now. I know we've just signed him, so I don't want to sound like I'm slating him. I'm not. But Rothwell's a good few years older than Raskin is now. Well, we'll probably only have Raskin for one more season max, I would say. But for me, I would probably be playing Raskin where Rothwell is, and Rothwell where Raskin has said, or at least from what we've seen so far in the 4 games that we've seen from Martin, where he's positioned them. But no, I did have that thought that if this continues, we'll need to wait and see what the teams are over the next couple of weeks. But I think Raskin would maybe be thinking to himself, listen, I might need to move because I want to play in this position, because where he's playing in that position, it's also the position he's getting selected for from Belgium. Is he going to get selected for Belgium in the position that he's playing for us? We've seen him play for us against Motherwell, against Panathinaikos. I'm not so sure. So it'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on.
Definitely, as an interesting one. Obviously, Ali, he's our main asset. He's our main man. He has been for a long time. Scotia makes a point. The age difference there, obviously, we know that Russell Martin gets on very well with Rothwell. I'm a big fan of Rothwell. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I genuinely, the way that he pivots on a ball, he passes a ball. Making the comparison to Stephen Davis is a big call, but you know what I mean. He's probably the closest kind of comparison we've had in a wee while. But Nico Raskin is somebody who, again, I don't see him wanting to sit on the bench for a lot of time, especially, of course, makes a point with him breaking into this Belgium international team. Do you reckon it is just a one-time thing, or is this any more, and Raskin could potentially look to Bielski? Oh, you're on mute. No, it's happened. It's happened.
Oh, I done a Scotia there.
You saw
Shocking.
nothing.
That's a yellow card there, isn't it? Christ, I've done that in bloody ages. That. He says, he needs a big squad. Russell Martin for the amount of games we're going to play this season. So players will come in and out, I think, and he kind of alluded to that in his post-match, in terms of he's saying the team for Dundee might be a different team to what played against Plzen. So Nico Raskin doesn't want to sit on the bench, but the problem is Rothwell is his man. He likes Rothwell. I like Rothwell as too. I think he's a decent player, but where he plays is where Raskin plays. I agree with Scotia. I'd like to maybe see Raskin play there and push Rothwell further up where Diamande is, if you want to say, just to see what it's like there, because I think he's kind of played there for Leeds before, to further up the park, if you want to say. So I'd be interested to see that, but it looks as if he wants one of them playing there. I don't think Raskin works. See, when Rothwell's sitting as a 6 and Raskin's sitting higher up the park, I just think he looks a bit lost at times up there. I'd rather him as a 6. So it'll be interesting because he's an asset for us, Raskin. Teams will be looking at it in terms of if he isn't playing tomorrow again. But yeah, it's like I say, it's a long season, and I honestly think that Russell Martin's going to rotate players. That's why I've said I think he wants 2 players for his position, 2 good players, not a squad player coming in, first team players. And that's why I'll hark back to that Gerrard team where he had 2 players for each position. I think this is what he wants. So I think you'll see more of this as the season goes on.
Yeah, definitely. if it wasn't the 8th of August, I'd probably be a bit more calmer. See, once that window slams shut and if Raskin's here, then I probably wouldn't think about it too much. But it's just while the window's open, you know that his ambitions are very, very high. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with him. I do hope that he stays. You can see that quality once he's on. So we'll hopefully see him on the weekend. But the other thing as well, as Ian McLean says, only a year left of this deal. There's so much with the Raskin saga there's so much to speak about, so little time. But we'll hopefully see him back soon. And it's good to have options in the midfield. It is very, very refreshing indeed. Kind of later on in the game, for me, the stands, just kind of a bit of a random point. The stands looked very, very full later on. Full that I haven't seen in a wee while. I don't know about what you lads think, but I think we're starting to see folk getting on board with what's going on. There's definitely a buzz after Tuesday, which was probably quite hard to deliver after the disappointment of last weekend, obviously. But it was good to see the stands as full as they were, kind of come the final whistle, especially to give Ant-Man that applause going off the part. I thought it was pretty good. And the game finishes 3-0. We are very much in the driving seat to go through to the next round after hopefully a good result next week to face either Salzburg or Club Brugge. Currently, Brugge are 1-0 up after their first leg away from home. So they are currently the team that we could be coming up against. But lads, very, very, very positive result for me. It's something that we've been crying out for. Is just that. Probably, I wouldn't say, obviously, I know the last 15 minutes there was a bit of a drop off, but other than that, a complete performance, a performance that we can kind of resonate with and say, right, now we're cooking the gas. So it's just about keeping that going and hopefully bring it into the domestic football, because that's what we're after. That is what we are after. So just kind of as a quick wee side note, I thought I'd chuck in a wee bit of fun. Player of the year and top goal scorer predictions. Mr. Carney is not here this evening, although I've got his prediction to the side of me. But I thought I would come to you, gents, for your player of the year and top goal scorer. Scotia, it's a big old season. We're not even sure who's going to be here for this season. But if you were to kind of chuck a name out there for your player of the year and your top goal scorer, who are we going for?
Scotia's Wi-Fi. Like we can jail on it.
Yeah, can I? I've got a couple. I've got a wee question. I've got a question. How?
Steady.
I might need to bring that old joke back out about Scotia's dad and that bike, because he's obviously not pedaling fast enough.
Bugger off with your jokes.
There we go. Ask you back, mate. What were you saying? What's your question?
Hi. Sorry about that. My question was, how are we kind of doing the player of the year? Are we doing it based, because I've always thought, right, so after every game we'll give our player of the match. Are we going to base it off that, or are we basing it off the season award kind of things at the end of the season?
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll go your first option in terms of a kind of consistent. If you have to pick your player of the year, that's a good way of putting it. So if you had to decide who the player of the year is, then the decision is up to you.
Based on like who our man of the match was after every game, kind of thing. That was my thinking. Yeah, right, cool. Go with that. And my other caveat is as well, this all depends on what European competition we're going to be playing in as well. Who am I going to go for? I think we could maybe see Giga as being the player of the year for us. If we do as well in Europe as I am hoping we do in terms of what competition we'll be playing in, I think we'll see an awful lot more of him and what he brings to the team if we're playing in the Champions League like I hope we can be.
Interesting. Well, you've went the same as Mr. Carney. In fact, well, I'll tell you something. Mr. Carney said Alfredo Morelos was his player of the year, but he quickly changed to Giga. So I had a wee smirk at that. But interesting, very, very interesting indeed. Ali, your player of the year prediction, there's some good few contenders, I think, definitely. Obviously, with the early stage we've seen so far, but Give us your player of the year prediction.
There's the obvious ones to choose from in terms of the wingers, and Giga is a big obvious one. I'm going to go a completely left field, and I've not seen this guy play football at all for Rangers yet. Asgard for me. He's the one guy. He's the one guy that I was really excited to see for Rangers, and the bloody curse of Rangers struck him instantly, and he got injured. But going by Russell Martin today, I know he's dodged it a few weeks in terms of he's out, but he has said he's back in the grass now training, which hopefully suggests to me he's not too far away. But I think he is one of the missing pieces of the puzzle in the middle of the park for us. I think he'll play probably where Lyle Cameron's playing at the moment. Going by his highlight reel, then everybody's highlight reel on YouTube looks good, to be honest. But he looks like he can score goals, clever with the ball at his feet. He's a guy I'm excited to see. So I will go with him. And that's probably me put the curse on him now in terms of we probably won't see him this season. He'll probably be injured the whole season.
Well, it's I'll take responsibility for that as well, mate, because I've got him as my player of the year as well. He's the one guy who, in those pre-season games, he was supposed to be touted as the most promising looking player. So I'm very excited to see him. Again, we've not seen him yet, but tell Asgard, you're my player of the year prediction. Quick fire, Scotia, your top goal scorer. Who do you think is going to rack up the most goals this season?
Yeah, got to throw in another caveat here that if it's here at the end of the window, I think it'll be Dessers this year. Again.
Interesting.
Definitely not Danilo, is it? Christ. Somebody will stingy that with Danilo is the top goal scorer. Christ, there's no chance of that. No, I agree with Scotia. If Dessers is here when the window closes, it'll be Dessers for me. He'll be top goal scorer.
I hate to be that guy, but I've went Dessers if he stays. If not, Kusama definitely is right up there. He's already getting the goals, but definitely Cyril Dessers. If you're staying, I'd love to see some hat tricks for. I like to see him taking the match ball home. But I just thought I'd chat in there. Again, folks, in the comments, who do you think is going to pick up the awards this year? But again, there's only certain awards that we're looking for this season, and that is big, shiny golden cups. So, speaking of which, we go into one of the cup-winning competitions this season, we hope. Back to the Scottish Premiership. We are back. First game at Ibrox. A 5:45 kickoff against Dundee. Make of that what you will, but we are back at Ibrox for domestic action. Quickly, Russell Martin's press conference today. As we were speaking about earlier on, Mikey Moore. He's not quite there yet to be featured in with the team. I think there's a few protocols with his age. Obviously 17 just now, turns 18 on Monday. So hopefully by then we can get some stuff sorted. But it's just some kind of FIFA regulations. So hopefully see him in a Rangers shirt very, very soon. Iggerman and Asgard. There's been some positive days for them training. They're both fit to be out in the grass. With Iggerman, simply he's missed time due to obviously his away with his visa. And then you get chucked straight back into a game, and the intensity's pretty full on. There's been no bids from yet though, which is quite interesting to hear indeed. In terms of recruitment, strong in some areas and less strong in others. Very much making from it. There's still some signings to come, folks. Just strap yourselves in. But also, it will probably depend on some folk going out. Will Danilo be one of them? We shall see. And Aarons is fit to play, which is, you know, if we see him in the lineup, it could be very, very interesting in terms of what happens with Tav, etc. Because I do think that Tav will still be a big part this season, but the fact that Aarons is fit, more so if you're looking towards next week, it's very, very positive. So Dundee themselves, they lost their opening fixture to Hibs 2-1. When I think back to Dundee, obviously that 4-3 blockbuster last season under by Ferguson with that Dessers late goal. I hope there's nothing like that tomorrow. I swear, if there's that sort of drama tomorrow, then we're in for a long, long season indeed. Simply for me, gents, need to get points on the board before this first Old Firm. Obviously, we're behind already in points, so it's just about getting those wins on the board and up the road, quite simply. Scotia, for you, after obviously that disappointing Motherwell result, Do you see it already as is this an uphill battle already, or is it kind of try to focus on the bigger picture? You know, it's a long season ahead. Is it just about kind of getting 3 points and kind of toddling on with your work, or have we already put ourselves in a tricky situation?
We're in a slightly tricky situation, I would say. Just with the way that the results at the weekend there went, it's so reminiscent of how it's went for us in previous seasons. We concede a last-minute goal or something to drop points, and Celtic go and score a goal in the last couple of minutes to get points. And we've kind of seen this movie quite a lot recently. Sorry, I think I froze a wee bit there again. But having said that, we do have an Old Firm game coming up fairly sharpish as well. So I think we do just need to win every game up until then now, and then, you know, hopefully by the time it gets round to that, we'll be able to take advantage of it.
Definitely, it does. Obviously, you want to go into that first Old Firm alley with that a clean slate. That's all we can ask for. Obviously, we know how the weekend went, but for you, is it optimism that's still in the Pearson camp? How are we feeling going into this game on Saturday?
After Tuesday night, you've got to be optimistic going in against Dundee, who are probably touted as one of the teams potentially to get relegated this season under Stephen Presley, who they're not overly happy up there about having Stephen Presley. I was surprised that they sacked Docherty. I actually thought they played all right last season. Dundee, they were unlucky in a lot of games. I've seen they signed that Jan Danda for Hearts today. They've signed him. I know they're missing that big Silla that played for them last year. He went to Livingston, of all teams. You thought you would suit a Livingston team, that big Silla. I thought he was a decent player for them last year. But Rangers should be taking care of Dundee tomorrow at Ibrox. I'm expecting what I've seen on Tuesday night, a performance and goals. That's what I'm expecting tomorrow. I'm expecting this team to kick on. We need to kick on in the league because this is the last league game before the Old Firm, if you want to say, because Rangers, if we get through, which we think we'd like to hope we'll get through, are postponing the game away at St Mirren the week before the Celtic game, and obviously next weekend's a cup game against Alloa. So this is the last league game before we play Celtic. I know I've not touched on the postponement in terms of what Rangers are doing. Personally, I would play the game. The league for me is the be all and end all. I would play the game and potentially have the chance to overtake Celtic. But I see the board's point of view. I see that Russell Martin's point of view. If they get in the Champions League, it's worth best part of £40 million to them. So it's worth big bucks to them. So I see their point of view. Personally, I would play the game against St Mirren. I know Celtic's not postponing their game, but I think they're at home to Livingston or something. So you can understand that. St Mirren's a tricky game, but still, I'd play it. But yeah, tomorrow for me, Dundee, Ibrox, it should be routine for me. These type of games should be, we should be beating Dundee convincingly tomorrow. And I'm expecting it tomorrow. I know I've maybe put a kiss of death on that there, but I'm expecting what I've seen on Tuesday night tomorrow as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm wanting that rampant Rangers at home, that kind of Ibrox being feared by other teams. I feel like that kind of fear factor has potentially gone over the last few seasons, understandably, because we've chucked points away at home. We see that at home and away, don't get me wrong, but especially at home. Obviously, last season there was a period where you almost didn't want to go to Ibrox because we dropped points more than not. But you know, just put ourselves in the right foot. As we say, big old season ahead. So it's just about kind of getting those points on the board. Scotia, we kind of get onto our teams, scores, predictions, etc. What were you wanting to see tomorrow from Rangers? Obviously, I'd love nothing more than a 4, a 5, or 6. What do you reckon the team is that would potentially provide that sort of scoreline?
Yeah, I would quite like that as well. In fact, not to spoil anything, but that one of those scores might be my score prediction for tomorrow as well. The team that I would go for, after all we've spoke about and everything we've said in this pod, I might be contradicting myself in certain respects of what I'm about to say, but I'd go with Butland in goals, Tav at right back, Giga and Suter in the middle, Yefty at left back, a midfield of Raskin, Barron and Cameron, and then up top, Ant-Man, Dessers and Gassama. And I'm going to go 4-0 Rangers with Dessers to score first.
Very nice. I do like that indeed.
Controversial.
See, what I would say, Ross, I didn't really touch on it with Cameron, but I was really impressed with Cameron during the week there. And I was really glad to be impressed with him because I'm not going to lie, I had the slight fear that because he was kind of a Clement signing back in January, that we might not see him under Martin. And I'm glad he's got the opportunity and got the chance to show everyone how good he can be for us.
Definitely not. He's a promising player for me. A guy who, I've only kind of kept track of him at the end of last season, and you saw he was adding, goals and assists to his game. It's one thing that he's had, and it's for a young lad, is a guy who we look at the likes of a Lennon Mill and say, I just wish you'd make the transfer. I think we've done it with a Lyle Cameron. We've finally made that sort of signing that we can be proud of, to be honest. Be proud of that kind of homegrown player in the middle of the park who just puts his absolute heart and soul into it. So he's in the starting 11 for me as well. Ali, what about yourself, mate? I'm going with same as Scotia. Butland, Tav, Suter, Giga, Jeffy. I've went Raskin, Diamande, Cameron. I think rest Rothwell for Tuesday potentially. Obviously, I know he's yet to play 90 minutes, I think, but I'd maybe think about resting him for Tuesday, and then likewise with the same front three with Gassama, Dessers and Ant-Man. I've went 3-0 Rangers and Ant-Man first goal scorer. But what about yourself?
Oh, can't believe you're bringing Tav in already. Christ, folk will be lining up the bash you to use there. I think Tav will play midweek away in Plzen. I think he'll come in for that game. For me, you've got to give Aarons a run. You've got to give him a run. I don't see a point of playing him on Tuesday night there and pulling him out tonight. Against Dundee. I would play him. And I know he came off with a wee niggly knock, but Russell Martin said today he's fine. He's training. He's ready to go. So I want to see him get a run. So I'm playing Butland, Aarons, Giga, Suter, Jeffy. I agree. I think Rothwell might come out potentially. So Raskin. Lyle Cameron deserves to start for me. Diamante's been really disappointing this season so far, but I'll put him in there. I know Scotia's put Connor Barron in there, and I can see why he's done it because he'll bring you energy and legs, but I just don't think he's good enough, Connor Barron. I think Lyle Cameron's an upgrade in him, and other different players. And then the top line picks itself. Gassama, Dessers and Ant-Man. And I will go 4-0 Rangers, Dessers to score first.
Love it. I mean, when was the last time that we predicted scores like that? That seems like a wee while. That's
That'll be 1-0 or something.
It will be 1-0, honestly. Start yourselves in 85th minute D9 penalty or something. It's bound to happen. But no, that's very, very good, gents. I like that. I like that a lot. So there we are, folks. That is us coming up to the hour mark just now. We have survived without Mr. Carney somehow. We do look forward to having them back very, very shortly. But we hope that we've done the team proud tonight. So yes, thank you all to everybody in the comments as usual. And thank you to my guests as always. Scotia, it's a pleasure, mate. I hope you enjoy the game tomorrow. 3 points is all we ask for.
Yes, Ross, thank you very much. Great job hosting tonight. Yeah, and like you say, looking forward to tomorrow. And yeah, well, not even hopefully, it can better be 3 points tomorrow, because if it's not, I'm not going to be happy.
Get them on the dressing room before the start of the game. You can say that exact thing to them.
Exactly. Get them on the iPad. You know that's what they're after. Ali, thank you, mate. That was a good chat this evening. Yes, we had a team talk, Scotia style. That's what we're after.
Yeah, I'd love to see Scotia in that team talk. Tell them, but no, well hosted tonight, Ross. You've done well. I know the technical glitches at the start in terms of I had access to nothing, but we've done well to get to the hour there. But no, looking forward to being at Ibrox tomorrow. First home game of the season. It's always a kind of special one to go into. I would have preferred if it was a 3 o'clock kickoff if I'd been selfish, but It's on a telly tomorrow. 6:15 isn't that bad a kick-off. So I will be seeing Mr. Gemmell and probably Mr. Carney at the Viceroy for tomorrow for a couple of beverages before the game. So, yes, I'm sure we'll be back for a post-match tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have smiling faces.
That we will. We will be back tomorrow. Win, lose or draw as always. Please, folk, enjoy the game if you're there. And yes, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you again to everybody, for everyone in the chat. It's great to see you as always. There's no other place to be on a Friday evening. So yes, tune in tomorrow, folks. And hopefully we are talking about a positive Rangers performance. So thank you again for this evening. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we will speak to you very, very shortly. Thank you very much.